Good morning. It is my pleasure to honor this year's ninth grade boys. In this extremely difficult year, I would like to honor you for being kings of entertainment. Despite being separated the whole year, this was truly a unifying characteristic of both the alphas and the betas. In talking with your teachers, the words that came up were enthusiastic, energetic, so much energy, spirited, competitive, able to keep themselves amused. These characteristics are most easily seen in your activities outside the classroom. Well, mostly outside the classroom. From spike ball to mafia to soccer, gaga ball and peg, to the various games and activities you made up early in the year when you weren't allowed to be close to each other or share objects. You engaged with each other, involved everyone, and made the year a little more bearable and fun. But what stood out to me the most, and what I really want to honor you for, is the way that you have used this unique set of characteristics to strengthen your bond as a class, a true brotherhood stuck in a boat together. Or as Mr. Morgan puts it, you still haven't simply given up on each other. And also to learn and work through some pretty incredible material this year. Mr. Fuller shares how you worked to unpack the meaning of Rosicki's life and death, and wrestled with Thoreau's civil disobedience, and could maybe get a little too competitive in trying to one-up each other. In geometry, you welcomed the more investigative and discussion-based format and worked really hard to not talk over each other without raising your hands in a math class. Miss Hooser calls you masters of dissection, with some of you succeeding in extracting the brain or seeing the blood vessels in a frog skin, even finding fish in the stomach of the shark. She also says that regardless of topic, you approached biology with curiosity and respect as you wrestled with some of the most intricate biological processes. Miss Hooser also shares how one lighthearted question about how we voluntarily flex our muscles became a running theme and joke that you finally got to answer later in the year. One final story that illustrates this well. After one particularly productive day in Latin, Mr. Morgan granted a request. What did you want most? You wanted to take a nap. So after about 7 minutes of quiet, spontaneously, without any apparent coordination, you all broke into a rousing rendition of Hey Jude. Ninth grade boys, thank you for the ways that you have brought a spirit of camaraderie, enthusiasm, humor, and energy to this year, and worked hard at appropriately incorporating all of that energy into your schoolwork. Thank you and have a great day.
Ninth grade girls, you are a bundle of enthusiasm and so full of life. You drink every last drop from life, whether focused on your coursework, obsessed with the details of an assignment, decorating your classroom for the winter holidays, or playing together at recess. You are all in. You have handled a year of restrictions and added rules with grace for each other and for your teachers. At the beginning of the year, you took on the challenge of coming up with a game for recess that allowed you to all play something together while remaining 6 feet apart and not sharing any objects. Your winking murder game was not only entertaining, but you were so committed to your collapsing in death. A few times we had to look closely to ensure that you were still breathing because your performance was so convincing. You made the best of your confinement to a classroom. The alphas created name tags for cubbies and paper characters that moved to different locations on the walls. There might be a story arc here. And the betas mastered the art of board art this year, including a fishbowl for the goldfish. You also had various encouraging quotes and jokes that were great puns, even if not overtly comical. Here are just a few. So why don't seagulls fly over the bay? Well, because then they would be bagels. And why does Peter Pan always fly? Obviously, he never lands. You practice democracy by holding multiple elections, complete with moderated debates for class president, vice president, and even first lady. You were so focused on these debates and elections that there was a campaign sign. Sometimes you would even forget about going out to recess. And this year you coveted your time outside, be it recess, a mask break, or the surprise of a class outside. The fresh air and UV were so precious to you that you would beg to go outside even in adverse conditions. After being read the temperature, the wind chill, and the current precipitation, you would declare that nothing would stop you from being outside. You grew so much this year in kindness and collegiality. You have been valiant in your efforts to seek the good, the true, and the beautiful in each other. Even after a disagreement, you found ways to enjoy each other. If negativity began to take root among you, you expressed that this was not what you wanted, and you set your course to do better and create a more hospitable environment for your class. You celebrated each other's birthdays and successes, and you were good-natured and so silly with each other. You play hard, but you also set your focus intensely on your schoolwork. You brought so much charisma and enthusiasm to orchestra and contributed to a very moving and energetic performance of Point Lookout. You have shown much growth in your ability to lead a seminar that you now need very little help from a teacher. You were even heroic on Zoom seminars, bringing up great texts and honoring each other's comments with attention and responsiveness. You fully embraced any assignment that gives room for your creative expression. In the Aeneid, you have been reading about a gruesome death at the hands of the two sea serpents with a somewhat concerning relish. Your illustrations of the snakes range from the adorable to the chilling. Your cell projects last semester were something at which to marvel, and your autoimmune disorder projects were as beautiful as they were well-informed. You were all in with dissections this year. You marveled as you measured the length of the pig's small intestine. You stood in wonder as you held the shark embryos, and you were a combination of disgusted and amazed as you found your specimen's last meal in its stomach. While many people complain about the odor wafting through the building during biology dissections, you found the silver lining. As some of you lost your sense of smell this year, you proclaimed with joy during the dogfish shark dissection, "I can smell this? This is the first thing I have smelled in months." You're a beautiful combination of silly and devoted. You have worked so hard at becoming not only good students, but good humans. From your textbooks to the volleyball circle at recess, you are succeeding. Your levity and kindness this year have been a refreshing breeze in our lives. Thank you for all of the laughter and joy that you brought to us this year.